We are live, boys and girls, ladies and jelly spoons. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Burning the Set List. Tonight we have the ever lovely Kyla Grace joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
From the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Did you guys get into all that frozen weather? Did everything freeze down there?
Yeah, I froze a good bit. Yeah, the interstate was terrible. It was scary.
Was it?
Nothing. It's just a lot of ice, and I don't know how to drive already. And so, and then you're gonna trust me behind a wheel when there's like not even a real road. It's literally just ice and salt.
Nice.
You guys have salt in Mississippi? They don't have any of that in Texas.
They don't salt the roads?
No, they had some trucks from, I forget where it was, that were trying to get down to Houston to salt the roads, and it did not go well. So no, they don't.
Oh no.
Texas is not prepared for stuff like that. They didn't even have the power company, all the gas problems that they have.
Oh, I know.
They were not prepared. So I'm glad you guys were better prepared. You guys are you're pretty close to Governor, right? Down there on the Gulf Coast.
I'm in North Gulfport, and so yeah, right here.
There's a North Gulfport? Wow.
Yeah. I like to say Lyman, so that way I don't have to exactly say Gulfport. But it's like a little bit more north of Orange Grove. It's a little bitty tiny community. My daughter gets to go to like the smallest school possible, which is great.
Dude, that's good for education.
She has like 15 kids in her class. It's awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
I gotta ask, is that one of those goop candles on the table back there?
Goop candles? No, it's one of those on the clearance candles.
Oh, okay. I think that's a goop candle too.
What's a goop candle?
The goop candle is the one that smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's.
Oh, it's the Gwyneth Paltrow candle. Oh my god, I love that joke. Wally Phelps does. It's my favorite.
I don't think I've heard Wally's version of it. My version of it is that that candle should smell like Robert Downey Jr. But that it's better.
His joke is that it's another candle he wants to eat. I think it's pretty good.
That is a pretty good one. So I totally distracted myself with the candle comment. But like we were saying, you just got done doing the Open Micers podcast last week. Shout out to those guys.
Mm-hmm. Love them. And then I was on Chromecast the week before.
Oh, excellent.
And so this is like my third podcast in like 2 weeks. This is pretty
You're getting
cool.
around a bit, huh?
Well, if she wasn't before, she is now.
Yeah. That's fine. Me and Compton aren't the first guys you're giving sloppy seconds to, I'm sure.
You're not the first two guys I've had with a microphone in between us.
If I hadn't have seen that other video, I'd ask questions, but
I can send you the link later.
Nice.
Open it in your incognito tab.
Yeah, well, you know, Pornhub is struggling for content these days. Now that they made everybody be legitimate, they lost like 80% of their content. So you could probably make a mint.
We'll put some podcast on Pornhub.
Yeah,
it'll be our new.
I've heard there's a Pornhub channel that is like nothing but wholesome entertainment, and it's crushing it. Like no nudity, no nothing. But I guess we should say it's smashing.
Like, watch boyfriend unbag groceries, and watch him cook for you while he calls you pretty.
Nice indeed. Oh man. All right. So I guess the reason that you're doing the couch tour, which is what we call doing the shows, doing the podcast. You used to be doing the late night shows, you know, the couch tour. But you did a murder mystery dinner theater thing down there. You're kind of spearheading that, right?
Fun.
Do tell us about it.
So the first thing, we sold out 3 nights before the event.
Mm-hmm.
How many tickets was that? How big a room was that?
So they capped it at 55.
Oh.
But we could have fit another 15 more in there, maybe another 20.
Just cram them in.
Right, but it was the first time we had done the event, so I guess we just didn't want to overdo it.
Right.
And but it worked out. I had some really great actors. Wrote the script myself, put it all together. Chandelier Brewing Company hosted the event, so I was actually at their tap room. We had a caterer called Making Groceries, and they catered the event. So every time there was a rotation of characters, so the characters were going to stations, and when they were going to the stations, it was a new course that was paired with another beer. And then the finale had king cake.
Nice. So you did
mystery.
the whole thing? Did you write the script for the show? And
I wrote the script for the shows. For the show, I had all the actors. I worked with them really kind of individually. It's granted, we did one read through like a week before the event. And that was really good, but I didn't tell them a lot. So it was definitely a little bit of improv in there to where they could figure out who this character was or how they were interacting with each other. So like two characters knew that they didn't like each other. And so Mel Strobe and Nikki Coleman, they were the two characters that really didn't like each other. So they ended up having like a cat fight like halfway through the show. Right. No, they pulled it off. It was so cool.
I heard people were literally pulling things off.
Nikki pulled her wig off and said, "Bitch, what you say?" And, and I played like this really bad detective, so I needed everybody's help to solve the mystery. And so I'm trying to like separate them two, but Nikki's like pulling off her earrings and, "Come at me, what you say? I'll swing at you." And it was really good.
That sounds like something that would be right up her alley. She wouldn't have to.
It was so much fun, and like all the characters, they were just perfect.
That's great.
So where did the idea for the show come from?
So I was actually just spitballing with actually the owner of the district, or one of the owners of the district, and he had wanted to do it, but it just got a little bit disorganized, and I had actually ran into like an old friend from college, and I was just telling her what I was up to, and the murder mystery idea came out, and she was like, "Oh my God, we need to do it now." And so not even a month after that is when we had the show at the brewing company, because that's where she worked, was at the Chandelier Brewing Company.
Nice. And they were down for it, huh? Do they do shows, any kind of other kind of shows there?
They've never done any kind of other show like that, like ever. We've never had an open mic there. We've never had a showcase there. They usually have like a guy with a keyboard, and he'll play like Tom Petty songs. But that was like the first time that they've ever really had like a straight up event like that before. And so I'm sure we can talk to them about doing a showcase. We're still trying to let it fizzle all out. It's still kind of like a shocker. Like I would say shocker, but we're still in the aftermath of it. Like we're still like, yeah, we did it. We really did it. And they were very pleased with how everything turned out. And I'm sure we can talk to them about doing a showcase. They want to do another murder mystery, but then host it at the Orr O'Keefe Museum. So we're probably going to do that maybe in April or May. And they've already talked, they were like, we want to do 4 shows a year. And so we'll do one like in April. They want to do one in spring, and maybe, and then they want to do one maybe for Halloween.
So what's the connection between Chandler and the O'Keefe?
It's actually the caterer. And so I know the caterer because her husband works at the Orr O'Keefe. He also works for the Seafood Museum. I used to work with him at the Walter Anderson Museum. If you're in the nonprofit business, you kind of know all the other nonprofit people.
Right.
And so, yeah, we've had just a long connection with the Orr O'Keefe.
Right.
But the caterer is married to the guy that's connected to all the nonprofits.
Yeah. Well, comedy's pretty much a nonprofit thing these days, so.
Right. Please, can I have a tip? But no, it's fun. With a bigger venue like the Orr, I'll probably be able to do maybe at least 6 to 8 suspects this time instead of 4. I only had 4 spots.
Right.
Technically, I had 5 because I had Brian King, who was dressed up as like my assistant backup cop, and he like pulled it off. He had like the handlebar mustache, he had the aviators, he had like a Kevlar vest. He looked like a cop, and he was just sitting around taking pictures the whole night. like collecting evidence, but he of course was taking pictures. And so, but yeah, next time we'll definitely have more characters.
That's great.
Cool. Yeah, if you could do like 4 a year, that'd be awesome.
Do them
Right.
quarterly.
And nobody does them around here either.
No. Right. Yeah, that's a good way to branch out. It gets you, because it's comedy and improv all together, right?
That's really what in acting. So learning your character, because I didn't give them a script. I gave them like major
Direction.
details that they had to know. Right. So I gave them it was like a bullet pointed script. It's called a short script. So you have the idea of this is who I am. These are who the other characters are. But this is what I need to know, and this is what I need to tell people.
Very cool. I just like the beer pairing with every turn in there. The murder mystery with a beer pairing. That's hilarious.
Right. And so every rotation is also when I brought out a clue. And so I had 4 clues that went along with with the whole. So no matter where you were in the rotation, you were going to be able to figure out something. But it was unless you like really paid attention, you weren't going to know who actually did it until I did the big reveal at the end.
How long does one of those last?
We were able to pull it off in about an hour and a half, and we took like a 10-minute like intermission in between, like halfway through.
An hour and a half is that's like the perfect length for a show, because you're not keeping anybody's attention longer than that.
Right. They gave me a time slot of 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And we started right at 6. We were on time. All the comedians were there on time. I thought it was a miracle.
That's unheard of.
Right. I was like, there's no way everybody's going to show up on time. There's no way that nobody's like, they're going to learn their script. I'm screwed. Like, I was panicking for probably a whole week and a half. But no, everybody pulled through. I'm so happy I picked the right people to be a part of it. And, yeah, it did. So they gave me time slot from 6 to 8. I mean, we were wrapping it up at 7:45, and it was done. And so everybody was out by like 8:10, and they, like I said, they were very happy with how it went.
And that's everybody finished eating, and
everybody finished eating. Big reveal, all of it. Pack up, go.
Bang, nice. That sounds great. So how many courses were there? What was the food like?
So it was actually done by Making Groceries, and they're like a vegan, vegetarian, plant-based. So it was like there was a curry soup that was delicious. That they also brought in a jambalaya that had sausage and shrimp that weren't plant-based, like real sausage and shrimp. What else did they have? They had a jackfruit taco. That was really, I mean,
what is jackfruit?
I got to come by and you don't know what jackfruit is?
No, educate me.
It's a giant pod fruit. It's about this big. And the fruit that comes out of it, you can pull it apart and dress it with barbecue sauce, and you would think it's pulled pork.
Wow, that's delicious.
My boyfriend, he's not vegetarian or vegan, but he's not big on like, he wasn't thrilled at the idea of plant-based food, but he loves like the jackfruit. He'll go to the vegetarian place now and get like jackfruit pulled pork.
Really?
I'm gonna have to try this. Sounds delicious.
It's really yummy.
Heck
especially with like coleslaw on top of it.
Sounds awesome.
It's really good.
Sounds awesome.
And so what else did we have? I didn't really get to eat because I was busy. They gave me a microphone, or not a microphone, a megaphone.
Yeah.
And that was, they probably shouldn't have done that, but it had like the police siren on it. So like when they revealed that there's been a murder, I like came out of the blue, and like, everybody freeze. And so I was busy like yelling, making sure everybody was where they were supposed to be, saying what they were supposed to be. And then of course Chandelier Brew It, like they had our tab that night. So literally me and all the other actors got to have free beer the whole night. So I was a little focused on that one too.
Yeah. That's...
So happy Valentine's Day. It was pretty fun.
Free beer is the secret ingredient, I think, to good comedy. Yeah.
Right. And so they had even made a special king cake beer for the evening too. That paired with
what?
It paired with the king cake at the end. And so the king cake itself was like a blueberry king cake. Nice. And so they had made like a blueberry stout beer that they put king cake in it while they're making the beer. Mm-hmm. And so it'll taste exactly like the king cake you were eating. It was really good.
That sounds like too much. That sounds, oh man.
A little sensory overload.
Yeah, too much in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very much like Fat Tuesday.
Right. I think we were all just sad that there wasn't a Mardi Gras, so it was, hey, let's go solve a murder and drink beer.
Yeah, Sunday is, what was it? We talked to Zeke last week. Sunday was Joe Cain Day. Fat Tuesday was this past Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does Ocean Springs do a lot for Mardi Gras, or you guys outsource that?
My dad has a house downtown, probably like 4 blocks away from the juke joint, maybe a little bit more. He's a little bit closer to the beach. Mm-hmm. But the parade was like, it used to go right by like his street. And so we used to always have just like a big old Mardi Gras party and everything. When my daughter found out there wasn't going to be a Mardi Gras this year, like the sadness that came over her face. She was so sad. It's like everything else with the COVID and quarantine, she was fine. She was rolling with it. But then when she realized there wasn't going to be like parades and we weren't going to go to her grandfather's house and dance in the back of the truck, that was when it was a sad day.
Oh, poor thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I had to rode around on the 4-wheeler and we threw beads.
Yeah, Mardi Gras was weird this year. Just seeing the pictures from New Orleans being closed down.
You're right.
I was in.
Oh, the whole city was sad.
Yeah. I came through Mobile like the Friday before Joe Cain Day. Anyway, I came through Mobile, and instead of having the parade, the MOTs normally parade that night. The MOTs are the group that has the big dragon floats in Mobile. Okay. At least that's what one of the things they're known for. And they just had the dragons out in the middle of Government Boulevard, major thoroughfare through downtown, like the major thoroughfare through downtown Mobile. And they had one of the dragons and like their MOT logo float or whatever, just blocking half of the street rather than having a parade. It was like, we can't inconvenience everybody, but we're still going to inconvenience some of y'all. But
right.
At least they had the float out on display. It was very, very interesting, but very weird. Very weird.
Shutting down half the street so you can get the real Mardi Gras feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Can't. It's not Mardi Gras if things aren't closed. Like if you can get around easily, that's not Mardi Gras. I imagine that's detrimental to the businesses down there. But you mentioned the juke joint, which we didn't meet at Murder Mystery Dinner. We've known each other as comics for a long time. And the juke joint has been a staple in Ocean Springs comedy for a hot minute, longer than I've been coming over there. And how long you been hanging out at the juke joint, telling jokes?
Telling jokes or just hanging out there, being a drunk raccoon?
Telling jokes.
Telling jokes. So I thought it was 2 years, but during the open mic, we were talking about it, and I think it's been 3 years now. This February.
What? Congratulations.
And so I've been doing comedy now for 3 years.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks. I totally lost a whole year. Yeah. I didn't realize that I've been doing it for 3. But yeah, and still working on it. Still trying to do my best, I guess.
Yeah, same here.
So what got you into it in the first place?
I was working, I still am, a sad retail job. And my poor English degree was just sitting on the wall, staring
right.
at me every day. Hey, look what you did. Now you're not doing anything with it. And I had stopped writing. I was a published writer in school. And I just wanted a reason to write again. I needed some kind of purpose.
What do you write?
And so I show up at the juke joint, and that was when Jacob Reynolds was hosting it. And that's it. And then I started getting into it. And then I was like the only girl there for a minute. It was literally just like the four of us. It was me, Jacob Reynolds, Terrell Sunson, and Jeffrey. And I can't remember Jeffrey's last Jeffrey. And so that was just like the four of us. And we were the only ones showing up at the open mic for like ever. But then more and more people started showing up at the juke. And then the Kraken, I guess, started doing their open mic. I think like that following July.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the comedy scene just started getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. What was the guy, was Hoffmeister? Is that correct?
Steve Hoffmeister, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he ran a show down there for a while. Was that the juke joint, or because I never made it over there?
No, that's the that's a different guy. Hoffmeister's a different guy.
Okay.
There was Derek Copswallow ran a show there.
Yeah, he used to run it. And I know Krangus had started his comedy. Well, no, he started it in Arizona, but and I think he started coming to it when he was like in town, and then he started traveling more, and then doing comedy traveling before he came back.
You're right.
Yeah, I know Krangus had said it had been a thing for a while.
Yeah, I did a show with Derek. That was a long time ago at the juke joint, and then Derek's left, and he got taken over by somebody else. So yeah, it's like most scenes; they come and go in waves, you know.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Was just having that conversation earlier today. But so how long have you been hanging out at the juke joint without slinging jokes?
I used to live down the street when I was in college there, when I was working at the museum. And so, like, before I was 21, I was going in there. But that was when it was Mezo's. And
what's Mississippi?
my roommate got me. It was the name of the bar. And so it was called Mezo's. And my roommate at the time got me into hula hooping. And we would go over there and it's like hacky sack for white girls. And so we would go over there and do, like, hoop tricks. And we would hula hoop.
You were hula hoop in the backyard or on the stage?
In the back, and then on the stage we had like a little hook, and we kept like 5 or 6 hula hoops there.
As a show?
No, just as like as a hobby.
Oh, okay.
Right.
No one ever got paid to hula hoop, is what you're saying.
Nobody got paid to hula hoop, even though she ended up getting really good, and she like started doing fire hoops.
What?
Oh.
And then I was the one that held the fire extinguisher and the bucket of water.
Yes.
So that was like my job. Right.
Important job, yeah.
Yeah. That's I'm too flammable. I got too much flammableness to be messing with fire like that these days. So I'd be right there with you, fire extinguisher and all.
Right. I wasn't about to hula hoop with fire.
You need just the right drugs to hula hoop with fire.
Right. And I was too afraid to take them.
Well, that was a long time ago. Maybe we could revisit it now.
We could try it again. Yeah, I'll try the grown-up drugs.
Well, in Mississippi, you just hang out on the beach long enough, and eventually something fun will wash up.
Yeah, like one of the military boys from Keesler.
Wait, did a military boy wash up, or did a military guy get lucky?
They swim across, or they'll just run across the Biloxi Bridge thinking it's fun, and then they end up in Ocean Springs.
Right.
Wait, what happened? I was talking about drugs washing up on the shore. Now we're on what? These...
Oh, I was making a sarcastic joke. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just confused.
I started running with it.
I'm just confused now. Now you got to explain. People run across the bridge naked in Mississippi.
No, they don't naked.
Yeah, that was you that added that.
Oh, see, that's what it was. Naked. That's why I was confused. So they run across this bridge to... Yeah. What? Huh?
Yeah, it's their workout. Like, people will run up and down the Ocean Springs Biloxi Bridge.
Oh, it was more fun in my head when they were naked. Now it's just...
Now it's just sad. Athletic.
These people concerned about their health. That's the opposite direction I was going. Man. So we mentioned Krangus. Shout out to Landmass Comedy.
Yeah.
Doing great things down there. You guys have a lot of shows down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast these days. Lots of open mics, or at least there are 2 now. We've got Monday and Tuesday.
3 if you count the show at Marley's, which is the one that we do viral. And I mean, you can go there. The shop is open. I've done it a couple of times, and it's fun. It is a good time. It's fun making fun of just the cringy records or just crazy songs. It also is another way to spark that. I would think quick thinking, like funny, witty humor is what that kind of comedy is thinking on your toes and what makes this funny. And because you don't know half the songs because people are bringing them. And
so people are bringing their cringiest songs, like
they're finding them on the internet or like cringy records.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to
you're
Patty.
Playing it, and people are like riffing on that.
Right.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Patty Dwyer who runs that show.
Yeah, I love her.
But yeah, I've been wanting to make it. I've got a song, one song that I want to play for everybody just to see how it goes over. Have you ever heard the song "Never Make a Pretty Woman Your Wife"?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing it. Don't you dare play it before I get there.
I won't play it.
It's gonna be.
I don't think there's much chance of that.
I was there a few weeks ago, and the song that I had picked was, I love the idea that Kids Bop, and they like make all of these like adult songs okay for kids. And so they did a Kids Bop version of the Tequila song, like da 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 da.
What?
And like the only word in that song is tequila, but it's like da 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 Capri Sun. And
the non-alcoholic version.
Nice. Right. It's Capri Sun.
Somebody was making a run at Baby Shark, huh?
Yeah. No, we don't even want to put it on there. You can tune in.
Oh yeah, I have. I've seen it.
Every Sunday you can tune in on the Landmass page, and you can like. I commented a song today, and it was another Kids Bop version of "Toxic" by Britney Spears, and it's just awful because it's like it's supposed to be like a really kind of sensual song, but then it's kids singing it, and then they're changing all of the words to like milk juice or something like that, right?
Well, as opposed to what they did when I was growing up, and probably when Governor was growing up.
I never grew up.
The music in the 50s and 60s, if you want to hear some raunchy lyrics, like, Afternoon Delight is a classic. Once you're in on the joke, it's rough. Like, there's
What's wrong with Afternoon Delight?
Can you imagine kids singing Afternoon Delight at 2 o'clock on a Sunday? Oh,
I guess I don't know the whole song.
Think about it. This is how old we are, Governor.
What's the song is supposed to be about?
Okay, so Afternoon Delight.
An Afternoon Delight is, it's about doing it in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, skyrockets in flight, all that. Exactly. So all the stuff from the 60s and 70s, nobody realized, or people that hear it now don't really pay that much attention to it. But if you listen to it, there was, yeah,
it's like
there was a lot.
Elevator music now.
Yeah.
Like you can hear that in the it's about Screwed in the Afternoon. That's pretty good.
And it's not even close to the only one. It's just the one with the best name.
Right.
Yeah, they were way more subtle about it. But anyway, I like classic music.
Get away with it.
Yeah, they have to. Do you have any kids, Kyla?
I have a daughter that's 6.
Okay, so there's a reason for you to be in this Kid Bop realm. Like you've been exposed.
It makes me want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like Baby Shark, I think has caused more deaths than probably drinking and driving, I'm sure.
Well, at least more than Robin Hood has. Robin Hood's only got the one, as far as I know. That was brutal too. Did you hear about that? The guy was one of the traders for the GameStop thing.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
He lost a lot of money.
Well, he didn't actually lose.
He didn't lose.
Yeah, he didn't lose, but the way that it's very confusing when you get into short selling and stuff. And so he thought he was in debt $730,000. And yeah, it was very tragic. Very, very tragic.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, sorry to bring that down with my dark humor.
Yeah, way to bring it down.
Yeah, my bad.
This is the best podcast ever.
My bad. Back to Baby Shark. What were we talking about? No.
Comedy scene. We were talking about a comedy show.
Well, yeah.
What are your comedy plans? Do you have any goals in the comedy
So
career-wise?
I really want to start moving to at least a bigger local venues. So there's a really great amphitheater in Ocean Springs, the Mary C. Center, but I don't think it's called the Mary C. O'Keefe anymore. But it's like an old school that has like a really nice auditorium that I'm sure you could fit probably like 300 people in.
That's a good size.
Right. And I mean, it's a way to start building, I guess, our crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we could start doing at least like a comedy festival. Or like the Sanger in Biloxi. There's only 2 Sanger theaters, and people forget that there's one in Biloxi, and that poor thing just needs just some love and attention. And if we've performed at worse places, let's just put it that way. And that they have the seating, and I think us collectively as a group of comedians, we could fill these kind of venues.
Yeah.
Do they have any kind of shows at the Sanger in Biloxi?
They usually do like a community theater there, but that's probably the only thing I've ever seen there.
Right.
Maybe a symphony.
They ripped off the facade. I thought they were going to redo it, but it's still kind of tore up right now last time I saw it.
What they're working on is the Coast, which is another, it's called Coast Live. It's another bar venue area, and we could always perform there too. But I like the idea of doing like a real comedy show. Like it would look like, oh my God, like a real comedy show. We would look like professionals.
That's a lot to ask for in the Sitha.
I know, it's really hard, but if we can pull off a murder mystery dinner in 3 weeks, I'm sure we can pull off some kind of decent show. Out of a bigger venue that's not just a dive bar.
Right.
I think the harder...
Be professional is... Most people think being professional means wearing pants.
Yeah, no, that's unacceptable.
Compton can't do that.
No, that's the opposite. The only time I wear pants is when I do the least professional things.
Nice.
Like playing in the dirt.
Like what? Oh, okay. I was like, I can't even imagine you wearing pants, Compton.
Yeah, no, it only happens in very rare situations, mostly OnlyFans. But
I'm just happy I got to witness the Krangus reach up. I was there.
You were there for that.
Next to you, if you don't remember that. I was.
Oh, he remembers.
I will never forget that.
I just remember the joy of knowing Krangus was about to fall. Like as soon as he bit. I was blown away. I was like, he has no idea. And so just the whole time I was just elated.
He was so happy.
I was so happy that Krangus was going to grab my dick.
Going to reach up in there. Right. He had no
yeah, I've never been so happy for a guy to touch my dick. But
and then Jacob Craig comes out not even 2 minutes later, and Krangus is still freaking out about his hand. And then Jacob Craig comes in, and then he just wipes it on Jacob Craig's face. And then Jacob Craig is like, what? I love you too. He was like, no, this is what I just did.
Yeah.
I just reached up Compton's coat.
It's a beautiful moment. Well, now anytime I'm in a room with one or both of those guys, that bit kills every time.
Right.
At least for them. And that makes me happy.
Right.
It's a classic. I'd forgotten you were there. I'd forgotten anybody was there, and that's a tunnel vision memory where I just remember the look on Krangus's face, where
he was so ready to. He like pulled up his sleeve.
So confident.
Like, yeah, right. He was so confident. He's like, no, this man wouldn't let me really do this, but you did, and we all thank you for that.
Walked right into the bear trap. Yeah. Those good times. Yeah, man, I miss hanging out with you guys. I will be back down on the Gulf Coast sooner or later.
You left Alabama?
No. I'm
Okay.
at my place in Demopolis, Alabama, which is
Okay, that's what I thought.
is around Tuscaloosa. It's only about 3 hours. I think 3 hours and 20 minutes from here to the juke joint. I just don't make. Yeah, I just don't make the drive very often because that means I don't get home until like 2, and I'm getting too old for that nonsense. But I miss it. The juke joint always had great crowds. You know, the work that you guys have done has been amazing to get people out there. And
well, it's kind of like our home base.
Yeah,
like everybody knows to come to the juke joint on Tuesday nights. Now, granted, if they don't make it, that's fine. But it's like I said, it's the set show that we have, and that you know that you can come to. That it's there. And if you're open on a Tuesday night, you just, oh, look, there's comedy. Boom.
Yeah. I think one week I'm just going to come down before I get too entrenched this summer and do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That is convenient that they're right next to each other on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can just spend a couple of days.
The Monday night show at the District is really fun.
We
have a great time. We have the roast battle tomorrow night.
Yeah, I judged the last one.
I'm not going to be a part of it, but yeah, I'm terrible at roasts, and so I'm glad I don't have to do anything this time.
Were you weren't on the last one, were you?
Yes, I was. You were the judge.
I know, but it went so quickly.
It went very quickly.
I don't remember everything.
No, I was Maddie's first battle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Maddie came in hot that night.
Yeah, but I did too.
Fair. But Maddie ended up taking it. She had a good run.
Right. I don't feel
job.
bad for losing the actual winner of the evening.
Well, she's got a lot of improv training, so she's really good at back and forth.
Yeah.
That's her cup of tea. And it showed. She did a really good job that night.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, yeah, tomorrow night should be pretty interesting. Do you know what the lineup's going to be for that? For those of you who don't know, we're talking about Landmass Comedy is hosting a roast battle, which seems to be a semi-regular occurrence now, at District on the Alley on Monday nights is the normal show for that. Sometimes they do a Friday showcase, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, I don't think we haven't. Every night we'll have like a special comedian come out. So like we just had Corey Mack there.
Yeah.
Like
did you go to that one?
3-4 weeks ago. No, I didn't get to make it to that one. I still have a full-time job that I have to go to. I have a grown-up job. But at least when I do comedy, I don't have to cry going to my grown-up job.
Fair.
Nice.
Yeah, Jacob.
Corey's worth seeing. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's
yeah,
awesome.
I've seen his YouTube videos. He seemed really great. And it got really good reception with the show. But so yeah, they'll bring special comedians there once in a while. And of course we have the open mic there. But this is the second roast battle we've had, and the last one was like right before Christmas. So, I mean, 2 months ago, every 2 months, a roast battle doesn't sound too bad.
No, not at all.
That's a good spacing.
For sure. Jacob Craig. I think Jacob's still running District on the Alley, right, for Landmass?
No, he's not running the District on the Alley anymore. Nikki Coleman actually runs it. So she was a traveling comedian at a Lorman, which is like 2 hours outside of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's new to our comedy scene, but she's not new to comedy at all. You should she is like comedy pedigree is what I like to call it.
Oh.
She's literally been touring nonstop for the past 4 years. I mean, the girl probably had, I think I just went on her Facebook. She's got like 3 new flyers out right now.
Good for her.
No, she's really awesome.
I've met her a couple
her
times.
hosting skills are really good. My favorite thing about her as a host is she's just really good at hyping.
Yeah.
And so like when she gives you the mic, you already feel ready.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's going to be every Monday?
That's every Monday she hosts.
Cool.
And every Tuesday is the Juke Joint?
Yep, and that's hosted by Crankus.
And every Sunday we're doing, what's that?
That's the Cringy Record with Patty Dwyer at Marley's.
And that's at like 5 o'clock, right?
That's at 5 o'clock, yes.
They do they still live stream that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't there an improv show?
They're working on improv. I'm trying to think what exactly the improv show is and where. I think it's like April 5th. There's going to be an improv show, and I'm not quite sure exactly where. So the when and where is, I have no idea about that.
you don't have to.
I'm not a reliable source for the improv.
Just check it out on Facebook. The Landmass Comedy will have a link to it.
Yeah.
Did you make it to the? I saw the flyer with Winnie the Pooh. It was like a high class, something or other.
So that's at the Creative Space.
Yeah, what's that all about? Yes, I saw something about clean.
To walk in there.
Yeah, why is that?
Not because they're a very clean space, and nothing about my comedy is clean.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I'm not even clean. Like I said, I feel like. So I've talked to the owner about starting like a writing circle there.
Uh-huh.
Now that I can do. I used to like run an arts camp. I've worked with kids. It's just when you give me a microphone, sometimes I'm not quite sure what's going to come out of my mouth. And most of the time it's either cursing or a joke about sucking dick. And I don't need to be telling those kind of jokes to 10 and 11-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even do my opener in front of kids.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I haven't been to the Creative Space. But yeah, they do clean comedy there.
I saw...
They do have a younger crowd, and the idea of just teaching comedy.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Krangus put out a post about having clean comics, and one of the guys that responded was like, this has got to be a joke. Like,
right.
you guys...
It is. It's clean comedy because they had an 11-year-old perform that night.
What?
Nice. Were they any good?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Well, we would have heard about it. We probably would have heard about it.
We wouldn't think they're funny. I don't know. I'm sure they were great.
Probably would have heard about it quickly if the 11-year-old had been the killer in the group.
Nailed it.
That'd be funny. You should have an 11-year-old as your killer in the next murder mystery. That'd be perfect.
It was the child all along.
Yeah. How about the roast battle? Getting roasted by an 11-year-old. That'd be fun, huh?
How do you even
just
roast?
Call us old the whole time. What are you, a millennial?
Can't even write jokes about 11-year-olds. That's gotta be
right.
illegal.
I don't even want to go there.
I'm already an ordained minister. I don't need any more of that grief.
But then, and I was thinking, like, when I was 11, that's kind of when I was like discovering Comedy Central Presents. That's when the Dave Chappelle show was going on. And so I can understand. I would want to take those classes as an 11-year-old, but as an adult, I don't want to go anywhere near it.
Yeah. I just don't want to piss off a parent. Like, That's
cool. That's exactly what it is. And parents can be scary as hell. Like I said, I used to teach a summer camp, and there is nothing scarier than a mad parent.
Yeah, I can handle kids. Kids are awesome. They're honest.
Right. Kids will think you're great.
Yeah.
It's the parents that are going to suck.
Yeah, they're going to be mad.
And when I saw the picture of the room, and it looked like it was like all of the kids' family. It was like grandma and grandpa, mom and dad were over here, aunt and uncle. It was like definitely they were there for the kid.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to hold a microphone right then.
Hey, isn't that the worst? You go to a show and they've got like somebody is on their first show and they bring tons of people. And then that person goes up first, and then half the audience leaves. How many times have we been through that?
Yeah, you always got to put them on last. Yeah. That's what you do. If you're running that show, you put that person on last.
And then all the other comics are like, "Why does this guy get the headline?" Because he brought 20 people. Like, that's why.
Yeah.
Or I've seen people do it for like a comedy competition. They'll like pack out the place.
Yep.
And of course they win because all their friends are going to cheer for them, even though they're probably like not the best comedian.
They never are. They never are.
And then you get mad. And then you're like, but then it's like, can you be mad? Well, should have brought 20 fucking people.
Yeah, I don't know 20 people, to be perfectly honest.
I don't like 20 people.
No, I don't. I agree. I'm right there with you. Not my bag. So what else is going on the Gulf Coast? How is it? I am curious. I know Governor's in Mississippi, but I never ask him because he stays at home all the time. How is COVID going down there?
Mississippi doesn't care.
Yeah.
I think we were ready to die even before COVID happened. And so it's like, I mean, there's not much more shittier situations you could be in. Like, it's already sad living in Mississippi. Don't make COVID like a sad thing too. So like, depending on where you go, social distancing isn't even mentioned. So like, I was at the juke joint last night, and you would have thought it was spring break. Granted, it wasn't like packed out, but there was definitely people there. You had to work your way to the bar. It was like a good Saturday night. And now granted, I work for a major retailing company. So of course, like, I'm used to wearing a mask all day. It's not that I'm against masks. It's not that I don't think masks will work. I definitely get nervous when I walk into those situations. But at the same time, I think these people that are already going out like that have either been exposed to it in some way or form. I think we're already to that point where if you live that kind of lifestyle like I do, where I work with a lot of people and I hang out with a lot of different people, because I did get sick in June and they tried to tell me it wasn't COVID. I'm like, are you sure? And so, I mean, I don't think I got even the right test anyway. Yeah, Mississippi is just like, whatever. We're just going with it. People still wear their masks in the grocery store. But yeah, social distancing is not really a thing when it comes to the nightlife.
Yeah, for sure. One of the last times I was down at the juke joint, I was hanging out back talking to AJ Bell. Yeah, from New Orleans.
Of him, from New Orleans.
And we were sitting there talking to this guy, and this guy just out of nowhere chimed in with he had COVID and was hanging out at the bar. I was blown away. I was like, dude.
Now, granted, if you're sick, don't go out in public.
Yeah. No, his excuse was, oh, well, I don't have any symptoms, so I figure it's not a big deal. And he was standing less than 2 feet away from me and AJ. And AJ took it in stride. I freaked out. I was like, I gotta go.
One of my sister stores, they were helping a customer, and she was in the store for like 30, 45 minutes. They gave her a bra measurement. They helped her. They were within like less than 6 feet, but they had their mask on, and they're checking her out, and she just lets it slip. Like, and my husband said I couldn't go outside with COVID.
Oh, good Lord.
And so the whole store was in like quarantine for 2 weeks for like company policy. Right. And a lot of, unless you're like the manager or like a higher up manager, even the lower managers don't get sick time, don't get COVID pay. These people are just out of work for 10 days.
So they had to close everything down? They had to close the store and put it with the staff?
Everybody had to quarantine.
Man, as crazy as that is what I love about the Juke Joint show, is that you get some crazy wild people in there. And most of the people, the last couple times I've been there, most of the people are there for comedy. But occasionally you get the crew that rolls in towards the end of the show that is just...
For drinking.
Yeah, that's just coming to hang out. I like going up in front of that crowd because it takes effort, it takes work to get those people's attention and everything. So it's fun, but it is it's challenging, and you get some of those people's attention, and then you're like, oh, I really don't want this attention.
Right, you got the
what I love about
attention.
it. Yeah, I like the Juke Joint a lot.
There was a show at this place called Tracks.
Been there.
Long Beach.
I was on it. Which one are you talking about? The
one that they just had like 2 weeks ago. Not even.
Oh no! How did it go? I was on the first one.
It was good, but like, let me just say. So I went to college in Long Beach. We never went to this bar, so that already gives you like an indication of what kind of crowd this is. If you're in a college town and college kids aren't going to your bar, saying something. So I walk in, and God, half the people were already drunk. But then there was this one guy, I guess maybe he was in town or he was sad about Mardi Gras, but you couldn't get a sentence out with him going, Mardi Gras, Mardi Gras. And he was like really pissing Krangus off. And then at one point, we don't really know where, but he just yelled out, electricity. And like, what the hell is this? Like, what the hell? But like, like towards the end of the show, Krangus is like, dude, I fucking put up with your shit tonight. Sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up. And oh man, he was pointing at him. I mean, you could see the steam coming off of Krangus. He was fucking pissed.
Nice.
That's great. I've seen Krangus get worked up. I think Krangus, he's got a better temper than I do, better control over his temper than I do. Because when
I've never seen you lose your temper, but I've never seen you host a show either. So.
Oh man, it can happen. It can definitely happen. Govna and I were with Krangus because Govna took Krangus and I to Anniston with him, and yeah, Govna got to see me be real honest with people.
Honest, that's a good word.
What happened? Oh my god, I need like a whole background story now.
There's a lot of drinking. There was a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking. Yeah, that guy was generous with his booze. The guy who ran the place.
Yeah, don't tell me there's an open bar. Like, if you tell me there's an open bar, you may as well just put a bottle aside for me.
Oh, it was wide open. That bar was wide open.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So what happened? So, like, did you just get, like, just drunk and angry?
I don't know. I didn't really get angry I don't know. Governor, you remember better than I do. I was trashed most of the time.
I've wiped it all out, dude.
That's how memorable it was. No, I do get angry when I drink, though. It's one of the reasons I don't drink as often anymore, because I don't want to be that dude. I have been, and it's not fun. I always regret it the next day. Hurt people's feelings. It's not good. Too old for that these days.
But we were really early. That was like the first time. This guy was opening a comedy club, right? But we were the first ones there. And it
Anniston?
Really
yeah.
No.
He really hadn't gotten the word out. I mean, he'd had a club before, and then he had to shut down and move it, and he was reopening it in this new place. And we were like the first weekend. We had a whole weekend scheduled: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One show Thursday, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. It was a big deal. You know, I really enjoyed it. But the guy's a fun guy. He's a fun guy, and he's very generous with his booze.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even Lindsay chimed in on the comment. She said Compton can get quite feisty.
Lindsay?
Yeah,
Nice.
There's some backup. Thanks for joining us, Lindsay. Glad to have you. Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. I think the thing that I took away from the Anniston gig was there was this little guy that was helping the bar owner, and he was the sound guy, and he was trying to be helpful, and he was trying to be nice. And Krangus nearly jumped down his throat because it turns out he was lying about his military service.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I did hear a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Stolen Valor.
yes.
That's what it's called.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Krangus was not happy at all. And as an audio guy, this guy kept interrupting the show, and that was driving me insane. And so, and apparently the sound guy and the owner are really good friends. Like, they're in this project together. We get to breakfast the next morning. We're at a buffet. We sit down.
Buffet breakfast.
Yeah, we were at
That's the personal highlight for me.
The Golden Corral, or we went to a lot of buffets in Anniston. It seems it was a very popular theme.
Yeah.
But one of the
It's
first
their
things,
side shows.
yeah, one of the first things I said to, side note, Golden Corral in Anniston is the first time someone has ever used my kilt to punk me. This lady complimented my kilt and ended up in line in front of me. Don't know how she did it, but
He distracted you.
yeah,
That was smooth.
And just
Good
jumped
on her.
in front of her.
yeah.
Smooth.
She swooped me with my own kilt. It was unbelievable. But we sit down at that breakfast, and we're like talking about ways to make it better. The first thing out of my mouth was, just fire that guy. Like, you should definitely fire that guy, like, tonight. And somebody looks across the table and is like, that's not appropriate. I don't remember what he said, but it was pretty funny. Yeah, I get feisty when I get drunk. But anyway, yeah, Stolen Valor. Don't do that. Don't interrupt comedy shows. It'll piss people off.
Well, and it's very obvious when somebody's stolen valor. I mean, granted, I was never in the military, but I did like ROTC in high school, and I know a lot of military. I have 4 stepbrothers, and all 4 of them were in one of the branches of military, and so it's very it's insulting to the people that've been there.
Right.
I would
It's
never
like
know the
when
difference.
You are talking to strangers outside, and I'm a comedian. And then this other guy, this happened a couple weeks ago. I was telling somebody that I was a comedian. And then he tells his friend she's a comedian.
Oh,
and he did the
nice.
air quotes. And I was like, you
Nice.
fucking dickhead.
Did you backhand him?
I've been paid hundreds of dollars to do comedy. If you add up my 3 years of work, hundreds of dollars.
I have been paid several dollars to do this job.
Right.
Oh man.
Not 1,000, but multiple hundreds throughout 3 years, stretched out.
over a 3-year period.
I could have
Over
counted
several hundred shows.
could have counted each one of those dollars by now. Oh man, that's a good time. Sorry, you want to talk about so stolen valor for the military is one thing, but as a comic, it came up recently that somebody had been using not my name specifically, but the name of one of my production companies to get gigs in other places. Yeah.
Stolen production company.
I was like, dude, I thought about sending emails and everything, but it's not that important. If somebody needs to lie about their resume.
He was saying like he worked for you or that it was his company?
No, that I had hired him or that my production company had booked him.
Oh, I would have said something.
I'm like, no. But and then again, do I really want to be in an argument with people I already know are idiots and that I don't like? Nah, better just to steer clear. But I get it, like, especially if it's from a military standpoint, if it's something that you've put your life on the line for, I'd be pissed. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Right.
So did you end up in Mississippi because of military family stuff? Because that's a big deal on the Gulf Coast, right?
I was actually born in Ocean Springs.
Oh, okay.
And so my dad was born in New Orleans, and they used to have a summer home in Ocean Springs. And then when Camille hit in '69, they went to go rebuild it, and they just relocated the family from New Orleans to Ocean Springs. And so he ended up in Colorado somehow in the 80s and met my mom there. And she was from New York. I guess people just end up in Colorado in their 20s.
Right.
That's just what people do. Right. And so they met in Boulder, Colorado. At, I think, a Grateful Dead concert, and then my sister was born 9 months later.
Right. Yeah, you were there.
My sister was. Your
sister was there at the concert.
She was born 9 months later after the concert.
Right. After the concert.
She was at the last half of the concert.
Halfway through.
Yeah.
Right. And so then they brought the little family down to Ocean Springs, and so that's how. I've always had like coastal roots, Mississippi roots. I've lived in most of the coastal towns around here. It's not that I haven't traveled. I just like this is just my home. That's all it is. I've spent a lot of time in a lot of different places, but when it comes to coming home, it's coming back to the coast. Have you toured with the comedy at all? No, I've never toured with comedy. I get nervous if I've wanted to do shows. I haven't done a show in Mobile, and I haven't done a show in New Orleans. It would be different if I had like people to go with me, but again, I don't like 20 people. And so it's hard to find people to go with you. I guess you have to like people and be friends with them if you want them to come along with you. Right. But we're getting there. It's just taken me 3 years. Nice.
Yeah, Governor asked, like I said, Krangus and I to go to Anniston with him, and I refused to ride with him. I was like, nope, I'll meet y'all there.
Well, Anniston's not that far for you, right, from where you are or were.
Yeah, it was much closer.
Yeah.
Much closer.
We had a room. Well, me and Krangus had a room. You slept outside, right, in the van?
Yes. I had my turtle shell with me. Dude, I know what Krangus does. I'm not going to put myself in a room with Krangus with bad circulation, bad air circulation. That's dangerous. Very, very dangerous, especially after eating at the Chinese buffet. I don't know how you survived.
And I'm sure there was only one bathroom.
Yeah, buffets are a big part of the tour. Any tour, really.
That was my favorite part, man. That #1 Chinese buffet.
Number one Chinese buffet, classic place, good place.
It wasn't number 2.
No,
It was by the time I
later.
left.
Number 2 came later.
Yeah. So we hit the hour mark, and I think we've plugged everything that we're supposed to plug. I mean, one thing that you haven't told us, well, maybe you did. The next murder mystery, you said it's going to probably be in a couple of months, and you guys are going to try and do it quarterly.
We're going to try and do it quarterly.
Do you have a date?
There's no set date or anything. There's nothing to put in the calendar, but it's looking like it's going to be at the Aura Keith Museum.
Nice.
And you'll be publishing that through the Landmass will publish the date, right, when you get one.
They didn't post my last one, so I would be very surprised if they posted it again. It's okay. I didn't need them. I sold out on my own.
Damn right. You go, girl.
So.
You go, girl.
Right. But if anybody's interested in, I guess, hosting their own murder mystery, I can write them a personal murder mystery. I'm really quick on the keyboard. I've, after so long, finally got like a real desktop. It's real easy it's easier to write on a real desktop than it is a laptop. Right. It's something about like, there's nothing more satisfying than having a good keyboard for a writer. If you have a good keyboard, like I hate laptop computers because I feel like I'm just not actually, I can't feel the emotion when I'm typing it. And so yeah, I can, anything anybody wants me to write. I've been talking with the Coast Women's magazine about getting a few articles published, so that's probably going to be coming out too. And so we'll see.
Dude, congratulations on that. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, dude, jealous. I'm not that great of a writer, so I'm jealous. Good on you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have any bookings that are coming up? When are you going to be on stage anytime soon, or are you just open micing it for now?
I'm just open micing it for now. Like I said, we're still in kind of the aftershock of the murder mystery.
Right.
I mean, we went in that thing head first, and we were drowning in it. Like for 2 weeks straight. I mean, these poor actors were letting me message them at like 2:30 in the morning, like, hey, make sure your character knows this, like bullshit. And they're like, Kyla, 2:30 in the morning on a Thursday night, please go to bed. And you
had four actors, right? So
I had 4 technical actors, 5. Brian was my understudy. He was my understudy in case, because you didn't think everybody was going to show. And so, so technically I had 5 actors, but 4 characters.
Nice. So who else? Yeah, you had Brian and.
I had Brian King. I had Mel Strobe. I had Nikki Coleman. Jeremy Lambert, who has done comedy. He started doing comedy here, I guess, like 7 years ago, and then he moved to California. And he's been doing comedy there and like opening for big name people. But then COVID hit and he was like not able to really do anything in California. And he was getting like really bored and just really over it. And he didn't want to go to Texas. And so he saw that we were still having shows. And so he's been here for probably about 4 or 5 months.
Nice.
And so, so Jeremy Lambert was in it, and then Zachary Perkins.
He's doing good. They've got he and Patty and some other folks have a new production company, right?
Yes, they do. I'm about to start. I want to see if they can get me some new headshots, because my comedy actress headshots are, I wouldn't say they're terrible, but my eyebrows are definitely bigger than they should be.
No, they look beautiful.
Well, they are now, because, but for some reason in that photo, I mean, it's like bump. It's like my whole forehead is eyebrow.
So since your cat made a cameo, what is your cat's name there behind you?
Do we need? Oh, there he is. Do we want the full name? His full name is Grizzly Bear DeGree.
Nice. Well, he was in the background knocking stuff off the table, so I figure we should give him a shout out. That's what he's after.
He technically, we didn't adopt him. He just kind of showed up.
Those are the best.
I have 2. Well, I've never had a cat before, so we have 2 kind of large dogs, both like somewhat pit bull mixed, not really. But I was like, dude, why do you want to come in this house? These dogs are gonna tear you up. And eventually one day he made his way into the house and the dogs were like, "What up?" And they didn't even do anything. They just kind of laid there and they're like, "Okay, I guess we have a cat now."
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. I'm racking my brain to think if there's anything that we've missed. Is there anything that you wanted to get out there that I didn't bring up or that Governor didn't bring up?
No, not really. If you want a comedy show, let me or Krangus know. Let any of the comics know. I mean, we will literally work for you for whatever kind of thing you can offer for us. You got that open bar? I bet you we can get you 50 comics.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You can put me on anything. I'll show up.
That's what I'm saying. Right. We'll do it. I mean, if you want a show, we have shows for you.
Dude, talk about anything shows. Hail Marys, the show at the tracks. The reason I was so curious about that is because I was at that first one. And
who was that one?
It was... man, it was around Christmas. I want to say it was in December.
Was it before or after the roast?
It was after the roast. No.
Okay.
It was before the roast. Yeah, it was before the roast. And I went up. I remember I got there and Chris Weatherly was standing in the back trying to figure out what he was going to say on stage. Nikki was on stage at the time. And I walked in and Krangus just looked at me and goes, "I'm going to need you to go up like right away." It was a very interesting experience. I'd never seen so many bike leathers in one place at the same time. They were just, it was a crowd. It was the first time they'd ever had a comedy show there, and pretty typical response. Everybody came out to see the owner do comedy, and the deal that Krangus made was, "We'll come help you out, but we want time and we want a venue." It's always wise to make a deal in that situation. And Krangus ended up having to take the mic from the host and host the show himself because the guy that was hosting was being crazy, and it was a wild ride of a show. Like it was fun. I had a great time on stage, but it was definitely one of those bar shows where the crowd is there to party and you've got to be on your toes. So
we did an open mic like that this past Tuesday. It was actually Mardi Gras, and I guess people were like, "It's still Mardi Gras," and so we did an open mic at the Juke this past Tuesday. Oh, I don't think we should have done comedy, but we did it. It's like one of those training shows where you're training how to get, like, you're learning how to get a crowd's attention.
Yeah, there's always something you can practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it's going well, and yeah.
What do
Governor,
you have coming up? You have anything coming up?
Me, the big thing for me is the Mobile Comedy Festival is going to be in August. So
That's right.
Yeah,
Where are y'all doing that at?
It's primarily going to be at the Alabama Music Box and the Merry Widow. Those are the first two.
How is that set up?
It's set up primarily as a competition. So we'll have several nights of competition, several rounds, and as people advance, the rounds get smaller. And the final night, we're going to give away a cash prize. The first place prize is guaranteed to be $500 for the winner of the competition. And if all goes well, there will be more cash prizes for second and third place, depending on how many people sign up. But right now, the sign-up fee is only $25, and all you got to do is...
Oh, I want to get on that.
Yeah, all you got to do is send your tape.
Zeke Buckholtz is the guy to hit up.
Okay.
Get hold of him through Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, and you can find it on... it's on my Facebook page as well.
I just didn't realize I could sign up.
It was a good time. I was
Anybody
there the first time they did it. They asked me to be a judge, and on one of the nights, it was good fun. They had a good crowd. They had a really good crowd.
Yeah,
at the music box.
It was a lot of fun. So that's the big thing on my horizon as far as comedy goes. I've been spending a lot of time in Tuscaloosa, in Birmingham. I've got a show. If anybody wants to know, if I'm just going to start plugging stuff, I'm on a show with Eugene Henry. This is called The Stages. It's going to be at the Four Seasons in Birmingham, and that'll be Tuesday night. And it's also an open mic before the showcase. So if anybody in Birmingham wants to come hang out, I highly recommend it. That's kind of what I've been up to. How about you,
What's
Governor?
the
You got
crowds like
anything?
up there? Is it like college kids?
It's awesome.
Or?
It's good. It's good. The Birmingham crowds, Eugene's show is always it's always fun because Eugene's just a cut up, and he and Michael Statham and the Birmingham crowd, Lamar, just all those guys are hilarious. So it's always a good time, and the Tuscaloosa shows. Tuscaloosa is only about an hour from me, so I go to the open mics there every chance I get, and they've got some. One younger comic, Lauren Lamphere, runs an open mic on Mondays. That Moontime Comedy, if anybody's in the area, that's great. And the crowds that come out, they're all college kids, so they're all really young, which means I get to be the oldest guy in the room, which is fun because it just makes it that much easier to be funny.
Well, if the governor's not there, you usually are.
Yeah, exactly. Except when we're on a podcast together.
Right.
I planned it that way, Kyla. Don't tell him.
Okay. He said, no, I can't be the oldest man on the podcast.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. Governor, how about you, my
Governor?
man?
Yeah.
What
To me? No. I'm just here looking after this plant. That's my full-time job now. Me and this plant are going to hit the road together as a double act.
I can't wait. I'll drive for you guys.
We're going to alternate headlining acts. I'm going to be the opener one night. Plant will be the headliner, and then we'll switch it up the next night.
Yeah, right now, Governor and I are doing this podcast every week, and that's going well. We're having fun with it, and that's pretty much the beast. Oh, and
sorry, the cat jumped on the thing.
Yeah, kitty cat
Are y'all
breaking
there?
stuff.
Yeah, I don't know cats. This is like new, and apparently they like fight. So he like doesn't like the other neighborhood cat, and then they do that, and then they jump on things.
Yes, they do. They're wonderful though.
He's very great. He gets the mice out of the garage, and he's very tolerable of my 6-year-old daughter.
So the cat is the new addition, so that would mean that you are a dog person because you've got lots of dogs, right?
I've always had dogs. I've trained dogs and worked with dogs. Our youngest dog that we have is actually, I walk her to school every day, and so I've been looking into getting her certified to go into like hospitals as, like, I wouldn't say like a hospital dog. She works. She's very patient with children, and she doesn't do anything. Or if you want to play with her, she'll play.
Just like a therapy dog. That's awesome.
Like a therapy dog, yes. And so, like I said, she walks to school, and she'll let like literally everybody pet her, and she loves it, and it's her favorite thing.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very
dog mom.
Cool.
Nice.
But then I also have, of course, my actual child.
Oh, I thought you were picking the cat back up for a second there.
No, he jumped on the keyboard, and then like my keyboard went flying. I was like, oh my god, it's the end of the podcast. He's gonna exit out of something.
No, you're fine. Absolutely fine. This has been great. I feel like we've kept you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. Tell everybody you had a great time, and
I sure will. I'll be sharing all of this.
Good. Well, and if there's anything else that you can think of, and once you get a date for the next murder mystery, let us know so we can revisit this and talk about it and plug it for you.
Yeah, I mean, once I start getting the ball rolling a little bit better, and they'll see everything.
Sure. Yeah. It just takes time. Takes time. Well, I'm happy you're out there doing stuff because that means there's stuff for me to do when I get back down there. So.
Well, I will gladly have either of you on any of my murder mysteries. So
thank you.
Yeah, I can play a good dead person.
Dude, I make a great Scottish guy.
Right.
The Scottish guy did it, everybody.
The Scottish guy. So accents are always encouraged, especially if they're terrible.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that. This is what my
we
Scottish
need you to
accent
play
sounds
the American
like.
governor. So please work on your American accent.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Well, yeah, this has been tons of fun. Kyla, thank you so much for joining us. How do people find you and keep up with your murder mystery and comedy goings ons?
My Facebook, Kyla Grace.
Gotcha.
That's me. I have a comedy page, and then I have my actual Facebook. It's full of comedy, animals, and children,
Nice.
and bad memes.
Nice.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Ladles and Jelly Spoons, thanks for joining us. This has been a treat.